Hello, and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It is Friday, May 28th, 2021. Welcome, one and all, to, is this going to be the last? No, Monday will be the last update of the month, but yes, we are drawing ever closer to the end of May, and what a May it's been. It's been a painful one, I'm sure, for many hodlers out there. There are signs of more to come. Yes, this could be an extended jaunt through, well, looking for support territory. Of course, Bitcoin pulling back a bit overnight after having a few days of a relief rally that, of course, tapped 40K. But here we are now flirting with 35 again. What is there in store for us next? To discuss all this and more, we of course have our analysts with us, Alex and Jason. Let's hear from Alex first. Alex, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. And Jason, how's things popping over there?
I'm doing great. It's Friday. We're hedged. We're just watching it burn from the sidelines.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't take too many longs or post any long signals there, Jason.
No,
I guess maybe it's a good thing based on bubbles.
Yeah, I announced it to the group, but I had a couple of signals that I didn't like the way that they were trapped underneath resistance. Me and Alex talked about this in the sense that I use a lower baseline. So there are times when the 13 EMA starts to give me long signals when it's pinned, and I didn't like the formation of it. So I decided to just lay off of taking any of those signals last night, which turned out to be the right decision considering the way the market's looking now.
Yeah, May really shaped up to validate, I guess is the proper word, validate the sell in May adage and go away.
Yeah. There's a reason why it's said, right? The old adage.
Indeed. And now we know apparently why. But of course, let's not make everything a downer today. Let's keep it casual, because I'm certain this market will have plenty of upside still left for it in 2021. But something tells me we are going to be having our audience tune in for the next couple weeks to relatively I don't know how I'd call this, these market conditions. They're not, maybe boring. I'm not sure boring is the right word. They're not quite depressing, but they're just not as exciting.
I think they're fear-inducing. That's what they are.
Potentially fear-inducing, but I mean, we can make...
The type of market that begins to induce fear, and like if we have a break below, like on the current daily chart of Bitcoin, like if we get a break below that middle or the lowest point of one of those wicks, I think that we're going to go into a free fall mode.
Oh yeah, if we do, I could very well see us getting into the 20s.
Yeah, for sure.
And
hanging out.
That is really going to have people tapping out. Once we get into the 20s, yeah, or even tap below 20, and if we get below 20, I think it's going to be a mass panic. Mass panic, and people think we're going to go back to 3. I know it. People are going to be like, that's it. This was the last hurrah for Bitcoin. People are going to panic. They're going to expect it all to come crashing down. So
I really do feel like we will at some point get into the teens, but hanging out in the teens, I don't think that's really going to happen. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think people are going to have, take whatever you think is an unthinkable price at this point, and wouldn't be surprised if we go there and test it for even just a very short bit. But
you've seen it.
Enough FUD. Who knows? Maybe that's what this next leg down, this next test down is going to try and instill in people. Maybe whoever hasn't panicked out yet needs one more good shake before we take this up. Maybe this is one big bear trap, but we're gonna find out. Of course, I'll leave the TA to our analysts. But again, guys, it's Friday. We are gonna keep it cash, and we're gonna kick it, of course, with our very loyal audience who has come back and they embraced us in a big way in our return to YouTube. So it's been what, this is our third installment in a Breaking Bitcoin Market Update since the return to YouTube. So thanks to everybody who has been peeping the show on YouTube, and of course hitting the like, hitting the subscribe, of course, if you can. And yeah, here's to good times on YouTube once again. but D-Live, of course, is still very close to our hearts. So D-Live, we will not neglect you one bit. All right, let's kick it off, guys. Of course,
How about we take a peek into Jack's sack?
Jack's back.
I might especially now with everything looking so droopy, I might very well truncate this particular portion of the show. But I am going to work on keeping this brief. I definitely don't want any more blow-ups like yesterday from disgruntled viewers. But let's take a
Joe
look.
blow out there.
Yeah, you know how it goes, guys. 2-hour show this Friday. Where, of course, we're going to cover everything from this intro to covering some news before Alex takes us through his analysis, which will, of course, feature the majors and probably a macro overview of the wider markets before we get into the second hour of the show. That's right. We're going to take your requests, your questions, and answer as many of them as we can for the second hour of the show. Right, and of course, open up that D-Live chest about 1 hour, 45 minutes into the show. With any luck, get you guys some lemons this Friday. Before, of course, we wind it down and announce some weekend activities over here to the Breaking Bitcoin, the Cracking Cryptocurrency Discord server. Yes, the home of the community. As always, we're going to be doing probably UFC and movie night this Saturday in the community. All right, let's get started. Bitcoin, can't help but notice Minx is setting up, if it's gonna close anything like this on the daily candle, Minx setting up for a continuation short. Who here among you is brave enough to lean into this downside movement on Bitcoin and short it? Let's see here. Well, WADA, dare I say it, is kind of right on the line here. So I'm not sure.
But you also don't need WADA confirmation for continuation.
That's true, but I am nonetheless very wary of shorting Bitcoin here. I like to think that this trip into the 30s was the bottom, and trying to tempt fate and drag this down any further might be dangerous. But I guess I'll let the analysts.
That just makes me feel like it's not the bottom. Mm-hmm. When you have the audacity to say something like that, it just means that it's not over yet.
Yeah,
because it takes enough times where you're like, I don't care. This isn't the bottom. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. That's when it turns around.
Certainly.
Not hoping that it's the bottom.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we had enough FOMO yet. Maybe we very well need to test a bottom, but who knows? Did enough people try to board the train back up here around 39 and above? Maybe they still need to be slapped in the face. But there's your quick look at Bitcoin, of course. It's down about, let's see here, 6.5% from yesterday's close. So things are droopy again. Or is this just going to be a range that we're going to play with for the next few weeks? Could be. So there might be no reason to start panicking right here below 36,000 on Bitcoin presently. Let's see what Ethereum's up to. Not quite a continuation short on Ethereum, but currently at 2480. What is this there to say? Also, Ethereum's down nearly 10% on the day from yesterday's close. So yeah, the market is pulling back today on the Friday. Maybe the traders hitting the sell button and checking out for the weekend. What do you guys think? Is this the weekend where everybody takes? Isn't it? Yeah, don't you guys have Memorial Day? Is that this weekend?
It's Monday.
Oh, so you do have a long weekend. All right, even more evidence to bolster the traders checking out for the long weekend. You need a little bit of play money on your yacht, on your timeshare property. Maybe this is where you hit the sell button and you vamoosh for at least till Tuesday. That's my theory for now. Let's keep going. Let's see what EOS is up to. Currently at $6. Quite the down day. Can't help but notice it did climb just about $7 today, but it is down. Let's see here. Just curious, how much are we down? Yeah, down 13% in today intraday. So markets are really being dragged down today, guys. Makes me wonder what the weekend has in store for us. Pain, if anything, like last weekend. maybe lots and lots of pain. Could be a bloody one. What else do we have? Let's see here. Doge. What's Doge doing? Doge, like Bitcoin, setting up for continuation short. This is something maybe I'm feeling more inclined to short. What do you guys think? Doge. Doge, ready? No, this is Doge.
Sorry,
Doge.
it's laggy watching yours. I can't really see it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm looking at.
It's all moving together, so I don't particularly feel like it makes sense to speculate on what any individual coin's going to do, because they're all just going to move together.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, in that case, short this doggy into the ground. 31 cent Doge right now. Link at 28 bucks. Looking a bit more like the Ethereum chart. XRP, well, XRP is doing XRP things, stuck below $1. Polkadot mostly sideways. Kusama below 300 again. Oof, this one hurts. MATIC, yes, this one is curious because of course looked pretty strong, although I guess WADA wasn't really confirming this week. But here we are pulling a bit on MATIC, a bit of a mini blow off top here. We did hit as high of 244 on Wednesday. We're since pulled back, and at least still holding the baseline as support. You gotta wonder when MATIC will give up the ghost, or will this thing continue on to glory? Right, not much else to say. Again, guys, I'm gonna keep it casual and try not to spend too much time exploring some of my watch lists, especially when things are looking this ugly. Check out Cardano. Cardano seemed to have had a baseline rejection. Rallied all the way up to, right up to the baseline. This wick tapped it right here at $1.84. It's since pulled back. It's down, let's see here, about 8% on the day, but down nearly 20% on from this bounce and rejection. Rest in peace, Cardano. We'll see what comes next. Following GME, and I'm following AMC. Whoa, was this a blow off top on AMC? Yesterday, of course, AMC saw this epic rally, tapping new all-time highs. Did hit $36. It's since pulled back about 30%. Brutal. Another big fake out. Another set of traders tapping out for the weekend, leaving someone else holding the bag. Not too sure, but there is AMC for you. All right, let's circle around and get into the bubbles today. What do we have here? See red. Wow. Is this what the next few weeks is going to look like? Brutality for the
Helium network's diverging. Unfortunately, we couldn't put up a long on it. If I recall correctly, it was beyond the qualifying line already. So Helium network was really one of the only really strong looking ones yesterday, and it looks like it has gotten a continuation.
Yeah, hard not to notice Helium network indeed. H&T up 20% on the day, bucking the overall trend of, well, bloody selling across most of the tokens. A couple outliers here. T-Fuel is up a couple points, and so is ZEC, as well as the, I think I saw earlier, the Bitfinex Leo token. Otherwise, oh yeah, even Chili's. Chili's is up a couple points, but no, it's bloody. It's really bloody here in the alt space. Top losers of the day include BAT down nearly 20%. Have the likes of H-Bar down nearly 50%. Cheeseburger, CHSB, Swissborg down 16%. Rune, the VTOR token, which of course has been rallying decently well during this bit of recovery phase in the markets, down nearly 20%. Everything else is, well, down about double digits in many cases. So, heading into a bloody Friday, might very well head into an even bloodier weekend. Was this all the relief bounce we were going to get? I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard our analysts describing this rallying conditions as opportunities to get out. I'm pretty sure you guys advocated for exiting certain positions yesterday.
I still say we need to wander higher before the big dump. So if we dump further, I don't see a huge dump immediately into hell. I know you're thinking because you see a lot of red. This is just what we said yesterday. We were gonna move to retest the bottom, and then probably move up from there.
Yeah, and looking at the daily and the pattern that we're forming, that's why I'm going to be watching for some bottoming behavior right in that probably like $2,300 range on Ethereum, as well as like that 33 maybe, to like see if we build that nice inverse head and shoulders that gives us that measured move up to that, say, like 48.50 range that you're talking about. So I could totally see that over the weekend, and then have a sell-off before Sunday again and end up right back down there. Or we could keep going. Who knows? It's interesting right now.
Yeah, I was thinking we'd tap at least 42 before a leg down, but came pretty short of it. So maybe we have another stab upwards in store. So we will see how I guess it plays out. Let's head into the next segment, everyone, and we'll leave a little more room on the other side for, of course, the request section and some of Alex's analysis. So let's dive right into the news here. According to this, PayPal Bitcoin volume spiked to 300 million, while Apple looks to crypto. I see what Apple has to do with this, but PayPal Bitcoin volumes have reached new highs of more than $300 million, according to data by Itbit, the custodian behind PayPal's crypto offerings. Volumes jumped from just before $680 million a day, or this is earlier, $80 million a day, to surpass previous peak in January of $240 million. All right, I wonder if this is is this PayPal users clicking the sell button, though? I'm curious how exactly this is working. The spike pictured was while Bitcoin briefly reached 30,000 last week, showing retail bought the dip. All right, maybe not. Maybe it was buying.
That sounds more to me like retail capitulated.
Yeah.
These significant volumes may be pushing competitors towards offering a similar service, including potentially Apple Pay. Yeah, I guess, whether it's people selling or buying, the provider, the service provider, the facilitator, of course, of these purchases makes a cut either way. Doesn't matter really what the market's doing. Panic up, euphoria, or panic down, euphoria up. There's money to be made by facilitating these transactions, and I guess this is where this story tries to inject Apple into it, which we of course covered yesterday. The new job posting over at Apple, looking for someone with experience in digital wallets, fast payments, crypto, etc. So there you have it, guys. Despite all of this, maybe there's a silver lining, maybe not so much for the retail investor, but certainly for PayPal and their cryptocurrency division. So with any luck, you'll be able to panic sell your cryptos using Apple Pay sometime this decade. We'll find out how soon Apple actually rolls this out. Let's head into the next one. Edward Snowden, yes, everyone's favorite NSA whistleblower. I guess he's ringing the inflation alarm himself. This time, of course, sounding off on what we covered yesterday as well, the Biden $6 trillion proposal for the Fed budget. According to Snowden, this is good for Bitcoin. So Snowden indulging in the money printer go burr meme. And
Snowden is a really smart guy, but he's not a fucking economist. So I don't understand why we should feel any sort of way about his opinion. Is just as valid as my opinion or your opinion or Joe six pack off the street, like whatever. I mean, I would even be like, okay, if it was like geopolitics, then maybe, because I mean, he did work for the CIA. He wasn't like a CIA economist, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
He was like he did like geopolitical. So anyway, I think his opinion is probably worthless on this.
It certainly is, but he is somewhat of a high-profile figure. So sounding off at this might very well at least have the tech readers of Reddit taking notice. So again, the news is a little scant today, so we will of course shout it out briefly and continue. But I do agree. Likely not someone you take investment advice from, indeed, but I'm sure he's good on the OPSEC tips. Here's another one. BBC is planning to air episode about UK's only clinic for cryptocurrency addicts. All right, how many people here would qualify? Raise your hand. Apparently,
I hear they use electroshock therapy for the XRP army.
Hilarious. BBC's Scotland The 7 will air an episode about the only clinic in the UK that treats cryptocurrency addiction. That's later today at 6 p.m. UTC. All right, all of our UK watchers, listeners right now, do let us know. Tune in to the BBC. Let us know how this episode looks. Maybe I will download it at a later time. But Castle Craig Hospital started offering residential treatment for crypto trading addicts back in May 2018. Yes, I'm sure a lot of people were on the ledge almost literally back in May of 2018. 3 years and one bull run later, Tony Marini, a former gambling and cocaine addict who is spearheading the course, says that crypto is the crack cocaine of gambling. Wow. The two have combined forces to make one super addiction, I suppose.
Yeah, that guy's really rounded out his vices nicely, hasn't he?
Right. It's on your phone, he says. It's on your laptop. It's in your bedroom. It's just everywhere. Yes, it's around every corner. Degenerate gambling plays are just seemingly everywhere. Can't turn on Twitter without someone telling you what token to buy. Marini claims that crypto traders tell everyone about making money, but do not want to admit their losses. I'm certain that's the case. The episode's promo tells the story of Jake, a trader who has lost all his money because of crypto addictive nature. Writing, quote, I escaped any emotional problems I was experiencing through gambling. Let's say on Bitcoin. I've lost all my money, including all the profits I've ever made. So somebody abused the leverage slider somewhere, and whatever gains they would have eked out by simply buying and holding were probably blown out the window.
Yeah, these people aren't cryptocurrency addicts, they're gambling addicts. So cryptocurrency addicts they'd hoard the coins, right? That's I feel like you would hoard the coins, be like, oh, I just can't get enough. More XRP, more Link. Like, oh no, I'm not going to trade it. What if I lose it? I love it too much. I can't do that.
A real Schmeagle situation.
Yeah, it's my precious.
My precious.
I definitely agree that trading touches a lot of the same parts in your brain that regular old gambling does. Yeah. I consider professional trading to be a form of professional gambling, and I think that the math shows that is true. Yeah. So, hey, I guess while we're on the topic, if any of you feel like you may have a gambling problem, that doesn't mean that you can't trade. But you need to be incredibly careful about your trading and maybe swear off certain kinds of trading, like lower time frame trading, maybe leverage trading, things that make trading so exciting that you got to get more of it. Trading can be some like that sometimes, but it's not supposed to be. This is a very special episode of Cracking Crypto. So, thank you.
No, you're totally right. It was a good segue because that's really one of the things that at the heart of what we do here, is taking regular traders who are probably burning themselves out, analysis paralysis, spending an ungodly amount of time spinning your wheels and not really getting anywhere as a trader. There's an efficient way to trade. There's an efficient way to use your time in analyzing and setting up a system that can help you deliver trades that you can systematically take without, of course, undue stress, undue time wasting. If this sounds like you, this is indeed something we can help you improve on. Got to get off the lower time frames. Got to put the phone away when you go to bed. Don't stare at the charts all day. Don't watch the candles move up and down from your trading terminal all day. There is a way to trade without getting wrecked, as well as improving your quality of life, I guess is what I'm saying. So I think this is something our traders can attest to. I'm sure many people in our community who came here after probably fruitless months or years trading and losing money, they finally learned a way to beat the system, so to speak, and make the best use of their time. All right, so let us know how the Trade Clinic episode goes. We will dive into the next story. Here is one. UK police bust an illegal Bitcoin mine while hunting for a cannabis grow op. All right, this one
Can you imagine you're running a Bitcoin mine and then suddenly someone's busting down your door?
That's right. The feds are raiding your shit, thinking they are cracking down on the grow op. Little do they know it's actually a mining operation. But let's have a look. West Midlands Police had expected to uncover a farm of cannabis, which of course is illegal to grow, possess, and sell in the United Kingdom. Instead, officers found a Bitcoin mining operation. It would have been legal had the owners not been stealing thousands of dollars worth of electricity from the main supply to operate it, according to a news story this Thursday. The police report that the rig showed classic signs of a cannabis grow op: substantial heat production, visible wiring and ducts, and numerous people popping in and out throughout the day. Officers had secured a drug warrant before discovering the operation's true nature. This is, quote, "It's certainly not what we were expecting," police sergeant said.
Imagine being on the other side of it. You're a police officer busting down someone's door, expecting to grow up and just a bunch of computers inside.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm getting a phone call.
Go ahead. Yeah, indeed. I think it's a shock all around. But then again, if they were probably not stealing the electricity, it probably wouldn't have come to this. So a bust is a bust. Not quite what the police officers armed with their warrant and thermal cameras were probably expecting. And it's funny, I'm sure there's actually quite a bit of overlap in terms of telltale signs of illegal operations that crypto mining farms and grow ops have, right? Major heat signature, high power usage, unusual coming and goings, I guess, on the premises. Funny how much overlap there is in this space. Based on pictures presented by the police, let's see here, they had an S9 2016 labeled on it. The Bitcoin operation used to be using the popular Antminer S9 supercomputers. Is it just one? How many did they have? How long the illegal mining farm was operating is
S9 supercomputer?
Well, yes, they're calling the 2016 Antminer supercomputer, yes.
Okay. Well, clearly this person, just for you individuals maybe new to crypto, they're probably talking about an ASIC, which is not a supercomputer. It's just a type of chip.
Exactly. Was this the picture? All right, so maybe they had more than one. Not bad. There you go. Well, they were. Oh, here we go. Damn. Yeah, that's a decent sized operation. It looks like a fairly decent industrial setting. Cable management could use a little bit of work. I guess in some ways maybe they saved them the trouble of potentially burning this operation down. But there you go, guys. A little glimpse at a somewhat illegal, mostly illegal. Looks like probably mostly illegal mining operation. Busted in the UK under, of course, could have been better circumstances. But let's have a look. What else do we have? Burger Swap. Yeah, remember we just talked about Burger? Somebody requested Burger on the show this week. Well, yeah. The Burger Swap experiences a flash loan attack, loses $7 million, 7.2 million to be exact, has been jacked in a flash loan attack over at Burger Swap. Hackers were able to do a re-entrance and completed a second swap. Interesting. So the DeFi protocol running on BSC Burger Swap lost a whopping sum of 7.2 million. It was stolen in a series of 14 transactions. The total amount received by attackers was about 8,800 wrapped BNB and 493 wrapped BNB swapped at 108,700 burgers on Burger Swap. Not bad return on that. Looks like a 20x. Tweet posted reporting the incident stated that what was stolen included 2.5 ETH worth $6,800, 4,400 wrapped BNB worth 1.6 million, blah blah blah. They stole BUSD, they stole USDT, so they hit several pools, I guess, on the protocol, and a bunch of X-Burger, as well as some ROX tokens. The attack happened in sequence, where the first was swapping 66,000 wrapped BNB on PancakeSwap. The second was swapping wrapped BNB for Burger on BurgerSwap. A fake 100 tokens were swapped to wrapped BNB through the pool in the third swap. Man, fake tokens. How do you get away with that? Except, of course, probably has to do with the BSC's nature itself. But the attackers reportedly created a pair with fake tokens on BurgerSwap. Blah blah blah. Series of transactions occurred successfully because hackers were able to do a re-entrance and complete a second swap before updating of reserves used to check the number of tokens and swaps. Wow. Goes to show you sometimes when these protocols function, like BSC functions almost too fast. They were able to smash and grab twice before the reserves were updated to reflect, I guess, the shifting liquidity and price. Report also says that the stolen funds were sold and withdrawn to Ethereum through a Nerve bridge. All right, so on top of that, the money was not kept over on BSC for very long at all. They took it right onto the Ethereum chain. Based on the sudden attack, BurgerSwap stated in a notice on its website suspending all further swapping, deposits, and withdrawals until issues are sorted out. According to the notice, the company's technology team was working to resolve issues, and it will relate back to its users available solutions, blah 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 blah. All right, well, if you were just drained on BurgerSwap, may you rest in peace.
I saw another really funny hack recently. I don't know if you saw it in News Pulse Premium.
Which one?
But someone did a flash loan attack on another protocol, and the protocol said that the hacker had returned the funds, and it turns out that someone running a front-runner bot had front-run the entire flash loan attack and ended up with all the money. So they returned it. So they were like, yeah, I just run a front-running bot, and I front-ran the entire flash loan attack. So here's the money back.
That's pretty sweet.
All right, I guess it's a lucky turn of events. But yes, some of the vulnerabilities possible here in DeFi land.
Yeah, anything can get front run on Ethereum. Jeez.
Yeah, including the flash loan attacks. What an exploit! Hilarious.
The front runners.
Yeah, maybe these projects need to think about having their own front running bots to help thwart potential attacks. I'll let them architect that out. Let's have a look here. How are we doing on time? Is it yeah, we have, all right, we're kind of around there. Let's just quickly shout out Jamie Dimon, who's once again taking shots at crypto, saying stay away from Bitcoin. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon continues with more negative thoughts on Bitcoin and the crypto market by advising people to stay away from them. Not a bad idea, I think, for probably many retail investors. So as much as I probably despise Dimon, might be good advice for a lot of people who are going to get in over their head and sell bottoms after getting wrecked. So maybe there's something to it, but I do have to wrap things up. Lawsuit against the IRS seeking a refund on taxes paid on Tezos. This one's interesting. Nashville, of course, the state of Tennessee, capital state of Tennessee. Couple sought a refund from the IRS and registered a complaint with the U.S. District Court. Joshua and Jessica Jarrett, Nashville couple, claim that mining or staking coins is not taxable until traded because they established the creation of property. Neither the Internal Revenue Code, regulations, case law, and the Constitution permits the treatment of created property as income. This is the first most significant lawsuit filed against the IRS linked to crypto staking rewards, the cryptocurrency that is subject of this case is known, of course, as XTZ Tezos. All right, interesting precedent could very well be getting set in this case. I noticed Alex, of course, linked this to this in NewsPulse Premium. Let's see here. The couple requesting a reimbursement of income tax paid in 19, equaling about $3,200 for the receipt of 8,800 Tezos tokens. They're additionally looking for $500 expansion and tax breaks for lost income. An advocacy group striving to bring legal and supervisory transparency to proof of stake technology. Let's see, this is a good way to describe it. Like a baker who bakes a cake using ingredients in an oven or writes a book using Microsoft Word in a computer, Mr. Jarrett created property. Like the baker or the writer, Mr. Jarrett will realize taxable income when he first sells or exchanges the new property he made, but the federal income tax law does not permit the taxation of Jarrett's simply because Mr. Jarrett made new property. Yeah, an interesting way to look at it. I understand how some people might look at staking as a kind of like a interest being paid, but I guess it is rather a form of property generation, and in this legal argument and this tax argument, I guess, is one where it's counts as property and not really taxable until, of course, he trades or exchanges it, and then capital gains, I guess, would qualify. An interesting precedent potentially getting set. Something for me to think about, I guess, when all of the fat staking rewards come pouring in. The IRS. Yeah, all right. I know we're low on time. Here is one from Arthur Hayes. Alex, did you read this post from Arthur Hayes? This particular, kind of a long one.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to cover it. Arthur Hayes just kind of goes over the history of during World War II, when the Federal Reserve and the Treasury worked together to keep down bond interest rates so that they could inflate away the debts that the government was taking on to fund the war effort. So he goes on, presents a lot of charts to kind of prove his point, and then draws an analogy to the amount of money that the government is borrowing today to take care of the war on COVID. And he's saying my trade thesis is that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general is going to continue to explode because the Federal Reserve is performing somewhat basically the same actions where they're going to take on a bunch of debt and then inflate it away over the span of the next, decade or however long by keeping interest rates artificially depressed, such that people, you can't buy bonds, you can't buy stocks. There's no place to escape the indirect taxation of inflation. But he's suggesting that, cryptocurrency, back then there were no cryptocurrencies and gold was illegal, so there was no escape. But now there is an escape, and that escape is Bitcoin and perhaps the other cryptocurrencies. And therefore his thesis is, if the government continues, then cryptocurrencies are going to go to the moon. Regardless of what they're doing month to month, he said that's a function of sentiment. That's a function of, just market dynamics, supply and demand, what have you. But the larger trend of Bitcoin to the moon, Bitcoin as inflation hedge, that's more of a long-term geopolitical thesis that, 60% drop here, 70% drop there, doesn't matter in the long term.
Well, extremely well summarized. Thank you. From a little I glanced at here, indeed, that seems to be the premise of this read. If anybody wants to check it out, Alex dropped a link to it in NewsPulse Premium on our Discord server. I just dropped a link into Twitch and I think the YouTube chat, a few others. I think DLive doesn't let me drop the link, but could be an interesting read indeed. And seems like we are in a kind of a wartime kind of footing here, at least economically, with all the stops that the government's willing to pull out. There you have it. Arthur Hayes, some interesting thoughts on the narrative between U.S. money printing of sorts and the future for crypto. much like Alex described. All right. There was also this one, the LYXE digital info. This is, of course, the last story, guys. We will wind it down here. Galaxy Digital Research posted a report yesterday for clients on the latest quote-unquote Bitcoin ban in China. After initial worry and minor and non-minor selling, immediate concern is receding. That said, miners in particular continue to monitor it closely. Yeah, I have not quite looked at this yet, but I'm going to presume that this is kind of de-escalating the China FUD a little bit with this report, which is about what I expect, kind of how this image here describes it. I've just seen this the story of China banning Bitcoin time and time again, and in the end, I don't think it actually amounts to much. But again, I almost welcome it. A shift in mining toward the West would not necessarily be a bad thing. Would certainly keep those centralized FUDsters at bay a little bit. If we did see some hash power start moving out of China, maybe something we could all be agreeable to. Let's dive into the next segment, guys, and that's going to be shouting out our loyal audience. Let's try and keep this brief, shall we? Let's expand the chat window down just a touch, and let's see who's with us this morning. Well, Alex, you beat everybody. Alex says, I'm first, but Rhino TD was in fact the first regular user of the live chat, saying good evening. Shout out to the very good evening to Rhino TD. Crypto Yorick, hey all. Shout outs to Crypto Yorick as well. Profit Bear, woo, I made it live today. Yes, welcome back, Profit Bear. Dear YouTube subscriber, it's good to have you in here. Bricks, Alex, you don't count as first. You're right, Bricks, he doesn't. Ron Legato, shout outs to Ron Legato on YouTube. Rhino TD, I already mentioned. Mac W, what's up, Russian bots? I don't think we have too many Russian bots through here, but maybe you're just come again?
I was just saying, just Turkish people.
Just Turkish
yeah, maybe
bots.
the real Russian bots were the friends we made along the way.
There you go. I fancy my chances. Matthew Sasso, hello on YouTube. Shoutouts to Matthew. Please do like and subscribe. I'm assuming if you're already here this early, though, you probably already are. Who's going to Miami for the Bitcoin conference? It sounds interesting. I don't think any of us are. Would be cool, though. Maybe one of these years, guys, we will have another CC party at one of these Bitcoin destinations or crypto conference destinations.
Do it in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we got to kick Puerto Rico. Maybe another San Francisco blockchain week mega party. We'll figure something out, or maybe we'll all end up sharing similar jail cells after the big crackdown comes. Finally, who else do we have here? The Fed will die, says MacW. Texas Blues, longtime watcher and premium member. You guys are killing it with the show. Look forward to it every day. Thank you very, very much, Texas Blues. I'm glad you like the show. Max Welch on YouTube says, hi all. Shoutouts to Max Welch. Jezza Coin is with us today. Wardbread, glad I sold yesterday. Now I'm looking for a good price. All right, Wardbread, sounds like you got out at a price you're happy at. Good luck snatching up the dip.
Remember yesterday we were talking, someone in the chat had said that they had just sold everything, and we were talking about that might not have been the worst idea. I mean, today you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, you are looking at certain tokens 10-20% discount. So Jezzacoin asks, where have you guys been? Well, where have you been, Jezzacoin? We have been live every day. We don't skip a beat. We don't miss the market action for nothing, but we were broadcasting to DLive and Twitch and other alternative platforms.
Nobody puts baby at a quarter.
Yeah. Bitcoin going to zero, says MacW. Well, you heard it here, guys. Let's have a look. Alex1233 writes, good evening all. Shoutouts to Alex1233. We are back on the tube. Congrats, writes Bricks. We certainly are. Polly B, happy Friday. Well, happy Friday to you and everyone else as well. It's actually a long weekend, Memorial Day in the US, so a happy long weekend Friday to all of you. And Taz Blitz, the DLive Green Army is here. Who else do we have here? We have Mr. H. Smash those likes, people. Yes, listen to Mr. H. He knows well. Smashing the likes. Thank you very much. Bank holiday on Monday in the UK as well. All right, so a bit of a holiday for the UK peeps. Thank you, Taz Blitz. David Rice is with us here. Let's have a look. Rhino TD says, I got to check into that clinic. Okay. Yes, I can imagine some people indeed could benefit from a bit of a break from, incessant chart scanning. Shopping is addictive. It's why it's banned. Okay. This Thin Survivor, pressing dislike button is addicting. Well, now we know who to ban for the dislikes. Flip video. Flip is back and he's on YouTube. I'm addicted to the hedge, unhedge, lower time frame trading. Not sure if it's supposed to work that way.
Be real.
Yeah. Ron Legato's with us on YouTube. Charts is my favorite eye candy. I'm never going to stop. Ron Legato, maybe do yourself a favor. Unplug from the charts a little bit. I know you like staring at the candles move up and down, but do yourself a favor. Hard light with a Pepe type meme feels bad, man. I can see why you might be feeling bad with the market this droopy. Mushrooms are easier to grow than cannabis, says Ron Legato. That's what I've always heard. Let's see here. We have, who else is with us? L33. All right, so L33 on YouTube. Welcome to the show. Talking about how police drones picked up the heat signatures coming off of the operation. Yes, that's probably one of the best ways to isolate grow ops is, I guess now less helicopters, more drones nowadays, but indeed thermal cameras go a long way. Let's have a look. Agency says, I think they have a case. It makes sense. Yeah, I too think they might have a case there, but I'm no law or tax expert, but I do like to treat certain crypto as property. Let's have a look. That's one way to grow mushrooms indeed. Who else do we have? Yes, Frieza. Yes, apparently Arthur Hayes is a Dragon Ball fan. Who would have guessed?
Background there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. So Agency joins us. Mr. Ether on YouTube. Come on, we need more green. Tell me about it. We need more green. Are we talking about the grow ops or are we talking about the charts though? Let's have a look. In my mind, MF on DLive is here as well. Any word joins us on DLive as well, writing just bought more MATIC, CTSI, and Cardano. Gotcha. B-Flow, of course, with us. Profit Bear is here. Mike Maker, Esco Soko on YouTube. Looks super bid. All right. Not sure what that means. And in my mind, MF, I think I had already mentioned as well. Thank you to everybody joining us this afternoon. It's been a good one. Let's get into the next segment, and this is where Alex comes aboard and takes us through his macro overview of all the latest price action in the markets.
All right.
Here we go, guys. Connecting to Alex's stream now. Let's switch scenes. Currently have the BTC USD hourly up. All right, so we're connected. We are good. I'm going to dive into the live chat, guys. Start extracting anyone's requests. So by all means, drop your requests in for the latter half of the show. I'll be diligently collecting those. In the meantime, Alex and Jason take you through their analysis. I'll be back in a bit.
Okay. Well, I would say that we are sort of on track from what we've been looking at for the past few days. I drew this speculative line on Wednesday, I want to say. And now we are moving to retest these lows right now. So I'm not concerned that we're just going to fall all the way through down into 20K from here. What I'm seeing is a retest of the lows somewhere, maybe here at 34.5. Maybe we could even retest the $31,000 area. But I do see that being kind of a bear trap. and then us getting a true short squeeze up into 45,000, maybe even the $50,000 range. This is, I mean, I would be highly surprised if we ended up anywhere above 50,000, but it could happen if maybe things are just so bullish here. I don't know what kind of bullish news could come out. Maybe this area is the bottom. I really feel like it's more likely we push down and we push up again to kind of fill shorts and give people an opportunity to gather bags before the next move down. Or at least that's kind of how I see things playing out here. Let's go ahead and look at Ethereum here on lower time frames. Here we go. So we had two areas marked out as potential areas where we could get a bounce. So the first one is right where we are right now, which is, as you can see, the low right here at 2,400. And if we do bounce here, that would produce the inverse head and shoulders that Jason was talking about at the beginning of the show, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Measured move of that. Let's turn off log for a second. Control C, Control V. There we go. So let's say a measured move of that would put us right back around 3,900, 4,000. So a retest of the highs. This is also, I think, kind of nice. It would be nice market symmetry because, as you see, we had a regular head and shoulders leading down in this area and an inverse pulling us out. Sometimes you see that in the market. You'll see symmetry between the highs and the lows, how things work out.
Yeah, the more and more you do this, the more you will start seeing them too. It's almost like a boomerang effect.
So there's not much more to say on Ethereum. Perhaps we will bounce here, and on lower time frames, we're moving sideways here. So maybe we'll get a bounce, but the truth is I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. It kind of looks like we're going to break down further, so that's what I would suspect. Kind of shake off a lot of these people, but not get a true retest of the lows for now. Bitcoin dominance continues trading sideways. Appears to be holding our break of the downtrend. This is good for Bitcoin, but bad for any alt bags you might be holding. This could mean one of two things, by the way. It could mean either the entire market will dump and alts will dump harder than Bitcoin, or Bitcoin will run, leaving alts behind. That's sort of the one of two ways it could play out, where we get this reversal on Bitcoin dominance. Mm-hmm. One way or another, more money is going to end up in Bitcoin than in the alts. Probably moving forward into the near term, because we are getting this like a weekly reversal here in the spot. Here we go.
Can you look at dominance to the Dixie?
Pardon?
Can you look at Bitcoin dominance to the Dixie? I want to see how correlated they look.
Okay. Let's think of a... Right. I'm not sure this is very useful for us for right now.
I don't think it is either. I just wanted to see if they look correlated, because I know that the Dixie's breaking up out as well as Bitcoin dominance right now, and they're probably just inversely trading up and down.
Yeah, they're just, if they are inversely correlated, they are so poorly inversely correlated. I would look towards, we're looking at a percentage right now, like it doesn't make sense to compare a price to a percentage. I don't think this makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
because it's an overall percentage of the dominance in the crypto market
to
the price of the dollar.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it makes any sense to compare those two things. And now, comparing a percentage, if there was some like Dixie dominance or something like that, dominance of the USD in the market, then that would be something different. But I don't think there is. Or if so, the dollar's dominance is like 100%. It's the reserve currency of the world. Yeah.
That's true.
We're getting closer to rolling over here on Uniswap perp. I think it's much more likely we trade sideways here a little bit, pop up into resistance, bags get dumped, and then collapse down in this area. It's going to be the same for all these things. I just don't feel that we're going to collapse right here in the spot. We need more of a relief rally into the highs. So none of these really look that different from each other. So I'm not going to spend a lot of our time going over them individually and saying the same thing about each of these charts. Yeah. But I mean, you can see things don't look great, and we've just begun breaking down from these long-term trends. So
when I take a glance at that, like what my brain tells me is we got a few more legs down.
Yeah, at least one more leg down.
Yeah, I mean that's like literally when you look at that, it's just the old adage: don't buy the first bounce. Like the first dip, like this probably have another leg down. And maybe that's what this weekend is. We'll see how we close it out. It'll be interesting.
So bad news, guys.
DIX is doing it.
Well, it was doing it much more earlier today. But it still looks really bull. Earlier today, it was like this, and it was definitely a sure thing. But still, we just look like we came back. We're retesting. We're going to continue upwards here. The Dixie definitely appears to have found support. We're now back over the daily baseline here. We're over this resistance level right here. We appear to have found support on the support level that we've been eyeing all year. It's not like we just drew this. We've been eyeing this level all year, and here we are finding support on it. It's very suggestive that we will be reversing in this spot and moving upwards here on the Dixie, which is, as we've discussed, bad for the markets. Dollar goes up, markets go down. Dollar goes down, markets go up.
And I mean, you can see a return to at least 50% of that movement, so at least to the median. So that's definitely going to be a hard couple weeks or whatever it is for Bitcoin and the rest of the markets. If that breaks, I mean, you're at least going to retrace 50% of that movement.
What are you talking about?
Like to the upside. You're at least going to go and test that other.
You mean
yeah, like I mean, I think that's a given if you break that pattern.
Yeah, it's true. We will. Now that we have bounced off the bottom of the trading range, we are likely to first retest the top of the trading range. I agree.
Yeah,
but it's really the long-term move here that we're most concerned about.
Yeah, but I am more looking at the long-term. If we do bottom there, that's going to be pretty shitty for traditionals and Bitcoin.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be pretty ugly probably. Pick up some Bitcoin in the teens, maybe.
So interestingly, we kind of gapped up today on open and then have traded down. And we traded more down when the Dixie was up, but now the Dixie is back down. The markets are back up. That's how it works. Dixie is inversely correlated with almost everything right now. So, NASDAQ also up. Interesting. It's not super strong, but it is still moving up. Lots of resistance overhead still. SPY gap up on open, trade down over the course of today, but we are peeking our head over the daily baseline. We still have plenty of resistance overhead, or I should say one final level of resistance overhead. But this is starting to look a little bit stronger. And if we could hold it, then that would be great. If we made new all-time highs on the SPY, then that would be good for Bitcoin and the and crypto in general. More upwards on gold, but approaching resistance. I would expect a rejection from this $1,900 level. As you can see, we've rejected before here. So support, boom, boom, boom. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Here we are approaching it again, and pretty overextended from our weekly baseline and the weekly trend. So I would be looking, if you're in a long-term gold long, you could potentially, I would start taking profits here, and then 1950 would maybe be my final level to be looking for. Because we do seem to be about to get a continuation signal, so I don't want to negate that here. But this entire level here is the resistance, I think. So I would probably take some profits there. Silver, I think it looks kind of weak still to me.
Hasn't proven itself yet.
Yeah, I understand that there's a shortage of physical silver, but I mean the traditional silver market is still, short sold all to hell. So that doesn't mean that the market will necessarily diverge here. So I'd be extremely careful in silver bugs. Palladium finding some support off of the weekly resistance shown here. Maybe. I would want to see a little bit more evidence of a bounce, but we're getting there. Maybe once we break the downtrend. Oil, I think, looks incredibly weak. I'd be very cautious here. All right, here we go. Log trend. Notice how this buying trend is weaker than this buying trend, right? You can see it in the slope.
Yep.
The slope of these trend lines is telling us the strength of buying in the trend. It's, how much price did we move up over time? Well, the price we moved up over time here was less than this price over time, right? That's what the slope is, price over time. So, I think this is very concerning for oil. Corn hanging out at resistance. I would be wary about shorting it. We certainly learned that lesson a few times. And we are still holding the weekly uptrend. So natural gas is hanging out near resistance. I wouldn't do anything right now. Soybeans, they certainly look like they're about to become a short. This looks like a weekly blow off top to me right here.
You watch what you say about soybeans.
I know. We also, look at that. So
yeah, it's a beautiful test of the understanding the trend. Yeah.
We come back, retest it, and we get this wick.
A great bearish divergence.
Yeah, I say get out.
Yeah, look at that confirmed bearish divergence you got. It's pretty sinister. Yeah.
Sugar still at resistance. Still oil. Here we go. What's the world's markets doing?
Partying.
Australian market's breaking out into new highs right now. That's kind of encouraging.
Yeah, that's a great break right there.
Yeah.
Very clear break. Is that an initial long? Yep.
No. We didn't have enough momentum here, and then here we're past qualifying line, so nothing to really do.
And you're well past zero on time.
Yeah. This is potentially reaccumulation here. Maybe we can continue going up here on the Chinese economy. One bottom, two bottom, three bottoms here on the weekly. French economy is going for it. Interesting. Not Hong Kong. Not the UK. This looks really rough, actually, for the UK. India. maybe I was right on this, and this was just a throwback. You guys remember, we looked at, perhaps you guys will remember, I drew this out, and then we broke down. I was like, I'm going to leave it up for posterity. You know, if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. And then, looks like this might have just been a throwback.
Throwback and then spring right up into there.
Where would a measured move on this take us?
A bit higher.
Yep. Well, we'll see. Japanese economy is basically right in the middle of the trading range. I would not touch it. I think it's far more likely we break down and end up in this area. Netherlands looks almost longable here. I kind of wish we were over resistance.
Looks like the longs that I was getting last night. I just don't like taking those positions.
Singapore is starting to look pretty strong here. Don't really like the break of the uptrend though, or the retest of the break and then break down. That's not right. Yeah, it's close enough. It's good enough for the weekly. Looks pretty rough here to me, right? Got a strong weekly uptrend, and we break it. Now, I think you've all seen, how long did it take for Bitcoin to break down after breaking its weekly uptrend? It took like 3 months, right?
Takes a while.
It took a long time for Bitcoin to break down after breaking its weekly uptrend. So we break this weekly uptrend. There we go.
Okay.
Right here, all the way back in March. And it was weeks. It's until May when we finally broke down.
Mm-hmm. How about that swing to 59?
Yeah.
Trend lines don't lie.
Trend lines don't lie. Wait, trend lines save lives.
There you go.
Let's, do you guys want to look at Forex maybe just a little bit, and then we'll do chart requests? I feel like we got a lot of time today.
We certainly
see how
do,
well
and we
Eric
don't have too many requests, so definitely take your time.
Let's do it.
Feel it out on Friday.
Yeah, it's a Friday, so the markets are closing today on this weekly candle's starting to look super ugly, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. Is maybe we should be looking at some of the weekly candles here, because that's what we're going to be looking at. Is a weekly close.
Here, let's do it. So Aussie dollar gets a trend change in February, which we talked about a little bit. The fact that Australia is going into the winter as we go into the summer. Australia is they're going to be experiencing more COVID lockdowns as people are going to be inside more. COVID spreads more easily indoors. And the Australian government's really serious about their crackdowns, by the way. I don't know if you... I know we don't have a lot of Australians because our show is on in the middle of the night for them, but if you guys read what their lockdown was like, it was nothing like it was in America and Canada. They basically couldn't do anything. They're like, you go out to the store like once a week. It was rough. Anyway, I believe that this seasonal change this literal seasonal change is we see those repercussions in the Australian dollar and its exchange rates. In this case, the Canadian dollar, but also starting right around the same time, its exchange rate against the Swissy, and even the yen, which is. It's still maintaining its strength against the yen, but the yen is super weak, so it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of a low bar to clear. Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, they tend to trade in parity. Remember, these countries are right next to each other, New Zealand, Australia. overall, this looks like it's breaking down, but I kind of wouldn't take a trade here with Aussie NZD. It's just like all chop, right?
Looks like a heartbeat.
Yeah. Aussie dollar USD. This looks like a really amazing short opportunity, actually.
Yeah.
I think I might take a trade right here. So this trade could make sense in a couple different ways, because we're expecting the Aussie dollar to continue down, but we're expecting the US dollar to continue up. So taking the Aussie dollar versus the US dollar, it kind of like matches both our views of what's happening in the market right now.
Long in the dollar, short in the Canadian.
Yeah, and we have this really incredible bearish divergence here.
Yeah. With the break of trend coming up to test the underside of support, just resistance, confirming resistance as well as that confirmed bearish divergence. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to take that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might put this trade on later today. For me. Yeah, for me. I mean, where like my system, as we've determined, it's not that great for putting up, daily signals and stuff. But I think it's clear that we can see that the trend is changing on a weekly basis. Canadian dollar versus the yen, looking very strong here. I just be a little cautious because we're just right at resistance right now. So. Swiss yen. This does have a breakout above. This is a breakout above resistance. I've got my Awana connected up, so you can see I already have a trade open on this. With stop set all the way back here. I took this like 3 or 4 weeks ago on the break of this trend. So. Euro, Australian dollar. This looks very strong. We've got a break of the downtrend. And then a lot of follow through over the last couple weeks. This makes sense. We're expecting the Aussie dollar to be weak. The euro trading against the Aussie dollar is going to be strong here. And we also see strength in the euro versus the Canadian dollar, the Swissy. Not much against the British pound, really. Maybe some bottoming behavior. A lot of strength versus the yen. This actually looks like, yeah, wow. This is a very strong trend right here. Sideways versus the New Zealand dollar. And then this maybe rejecting from resistance right here against the US dollar. Because the euro has been strong, I'm not sure that I would want to take this trade to the short side. I think the Australian dollar, US dollar is just a much better trade to kind of play out our thesis against the dollar here.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a very strong looking trend right here. British pound versus what? The Australian dollar. That's right. Because the Australian dollar is super fucking weak. British pound against the CAD, some strength, but I gotta say, the fact that we had this fake out right here, rejection, and then we reject from the bottom of this leads me to believe we'll get more downside. British pound versus a Swissy. We're right at the point of control. I'd consider this in the middle of the trading range. Not really worth doing anything. British pound versus the yen. As we know, the yen has been weak. Kind of heading above our final resistance level right now. Whoops.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot of resistance overhead once we break this. Let's say next resistance level is all the way up near...
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'll probably cut through that like butter.
Yeah.
Volatility will be expanding.
Pound versus New Zealand dollar. I also put this one on a few weeks ago. It's just been sideways, but I do feel like this wants to go up. It's just kind of not doing it right now. Yeah. It just kind of looks like it's trading sideways versus the New Zealand dollar. British pound versus the USD. Still at resistance. This entire area up here is all resistance. Nothing really particularly great looking about the New Zealand dollar against anything except the yen, which we all know the yen's been weak. This could end up being a decent short because of the strength in the dollar. There's the New Zealand dollar versus the dollar. Right up here at resistance. Lots of consolidation. There's a chance we could break down here. Man, US dollar CAD is kind of trading right inside of the liquidity of these lows back here right now, right? Let's look at this on lower time frame. What's it doing? Oh, very interesting.
I think it's winding up.
Yeah, I think the USD CAD might be bottoming out here.
Yeah, that looks like it's winding up for sure.
This looks like a very interesting area to get a reversal from because everybody's expecting us to dump now that we kind of closed below this weekly support level. But instead, we just hang out in the liquidity of the wick and then break back up, trade sideways, move up here. And this would reflect strength in the dollar, which we're kind of expecting based on the Dixie and the movement of the dollar versus the Australian dollar. 'Cause remember, all these markets are connected together. Kind of have to gauge that tug, the give and take on each of these markets all at once. Interesting area to be expecting a reversal from here on the USD Swissy, right? So today we do have this break of the downtrend, breaking above our daily baseline. And we are bouncing off of this previous consolidation area. We're below it, consolidated above it. Here we are back down, retesting the same area. It's kind of an interesting looking chart. But yeah, I would much rather be long in this area than short. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you're gonna catch a knife, that's the place to be doing it.
Chinese rand is just too strong here. I thought we were going to get a reversal here, and it just didn't happen. Broke down more.
Well, here's the thing. Usually that's the kind of behavior you get in the spring, though. That last test to really wipe liquidity, and then you get that bounce back.
Maybe so. We'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah.
But for right now, I wouldn't take it until we broke this downtrend right here. If we did break this downtrend, however, or whenever it happened.
Mm-hmm. It's something to watch for sure, because that's usually when you get that behavior. Just when you thought everything was over.
USD yen, well, if you ask me, I think it's got the potential to really run. We know that the yen has been weak. We know the US dollar is gaining strength, and we see a break of this 5-year-long downtrend. And with the dollar trending down against the yen. And then March of 2021, a lot happened in early March, right? Late February, we saw trends change in Forex. We saw the Australian dollar start to reverse. We were looking at that earlier. That was right around February 22nd. So this area right here, suddenly the dollar breaks out of its downtrend versus the yen. And I think we should expect all this back on the table. So this could be a banger trade for the USD versus the yen here. Well, that's all the news is fit to print on Forex. Why don't we go ahead and do chart requests now?
Yep.
We might. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jason. You got something to say?
No, I was just gonna say. Moonbeams pointed out something. Is like we should look at bonds because we were looking at that bottoming behavior just to see.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Brief opportunity to look at bonds.
Here we go. 10-year bond. Let's go lower time frames.
Nice support.
Still just sideways.
Yep. But building a nice shelf there.
There we go. 2-year. It's up today. There's definitely some nice volume coming in.
Mm-hmm.
5-year up today. And here's the 30-year. Kind of up today. Mostly sideways, I would classify it.
That's sideways.
What's next?
All right, there was a brief look at bonds for Lambo Dreams in the D-Live chat. Let's get into the next one. We have a question here coming from Rhino TD on D-Live. What would it take for alts to decouple from Bitcoin's movements?
I don't know if that's possible.
That's just not possible right now. I guess what would need to happen is Bitcoin and the alts would have to pump for a little while together, and then Bitcoin would have to trade sideways, at which point alts could take off. But as long as there are like big volatile moves in the making like there are right now, everything's just going to trade together.
Yeah, that's usually how I've seen it go. Bitcoin goes in a bit of a rally, begins to taper off, consolidate, and that's usually where alts have their heyday. But as far as decoupling, I'm not sure if we'll ever get a true decoupling, not as long as Bitcoin is the king.
It would have to be something completely different. I don't think it's completely possible. Especially where we're at in the market right now.
Indeed. Let's get into the next request, and this one's going to be coming from Profit Bear on YouTube. He wants to look at Orchid USD. Let's start with Orchid.
OXT. Woof.
Stay out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing everything else is. What's next?
I told you we're below the daily baseline. At this point, you should be looking to short pumps.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we've just taken a look at Orchid. We also have CRO being requested. Crow USD.
To the Crow God.
It looks like everything else.
They switched all of their subscriptions to USD on Crow now, so it doesn't really benefit you when it goes lower now, does it?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, this kind of looks like it wants to return to this area, but again, I think it's more likely we move up and then move down. What's next?
All right, there is your look at Crow. Let's dive into the next one. Shoutouts to Profit Bear for that one. Good news, everyone. I also have confirmation. We will be opening the D-Live chest in about 18 minutes, 17 minutes. Yes, 17 minutes, quarter to 3 where I am. Was when we'll be deploying that chest. In the meantime, drop your lemons or your ice creams in, everyone. We'll be certain to return a lot of those back in the chest. Let's get into HNT for Boris at Bitcoin Helium Network.
The winner of the day.
All right, so I don't know, looking kind of like it might be a blow off top now.
Yep, it's getting sold into pretty sinister here.
Yeah, yesterday we just closed above it, or maybe we just closed below it. All I know is when I looked at it yesterday, it was above it. So, and then we're right at resistance today. We moved above it. Maybe we could keep going. I'd be careful. We do have the break of this this long-term weekly trend. And hopefully what you've seen is that it may not break down right away, but when we do break these weekly trends, eventually we do break down into a further dump. So, I don't know. If there's more follow-through, then it could be a great trade, but I would be pretty cautious.
Well, my opinion is you should have been in it already and taken profits with that wick to the upside.
You there, Jack?
Yep,
Yeah, it looks like Pirate Chain R is next.
Yep, sorry, I missed that cue or that prompt for the next one. Yes, indeed, any word mentioned. Pirate Chain.
I thought we couldn't find Pirate Chain.
What? Sorry.
Didn't we try and find it yesterday and we couldn't find it and we didn't do it?
very, very unusual.
Yeah,
that-
I used to be able to find it pretty easy. That's weird.
Let me take a look here. Let's make sure you're using the crypto modifier.
Yeah, as well
actually,
as Charter.
what?
Can't find it on Charter.
Yeah, this is very weird. How come we can't find? Oh, what if we search pirate?
Well, I don't
yeah.
think Pirate's available here either.
Man, what?
Yeah,
what-
I guess it's on Uniswap only.
Let me take a look. No way. Pirate chain.
Yeah,
Not
I
even-
found it.
Let me verify because this seems very unusual.
Yeah, token Pirates. Eh.
Yeah, it's on a bunch of no name. Well, it's on Bitcoin.com and it's on Trade Ogre, CoinEx, but yes, mostly no name, low tier exchanges.
Well, it doesn't look anything different from everything else.
All right, I guess that concludes your you're drawing lines.
I'm always drawing lines, buddy. That's a
course.
dumb question.
That's a dumb question.
Yeah, of course I'm drawing lines. It's just not there yet, man. I'd give it some time to make one more kind of bottom of some sort. If you get a break of the downtrend, then take it. But until it breaks the downtrend, just leave it alone. The market looks like crap. Leave it alone. What's next?
Indeed. Someone asking, where do I get R? I need another account. Well, check out CoinMarketCap. Does show the available markets for it, like I said earlier.
You can get BTC, right?
Trade
You can
Ogre.
basically only get it in bullshit places. That's why we
Yes.
can't chart it anywhere.
Exactly. Trade Ogre, CoinEx, GravyX, LYXE, Bitcoin.com, Changefly are just some of the low tier.
None of them
exchanges
which
you
I've
can
heard of.
Yeah, most of these I'm not too familiar with, except maybe Bitcoin.com and a couple others. But let's dive into the next request, guys. Who do we have besides the pirate chains? We have a question from Jordan Stotts on YouTube. Crypto team, what crypto has your highest confidence as far as business plan vision for long-term holding?
Bitcoin.
I mean, business plan vision.
I just
I guess I would like you to kind of clarify what you mean. But that being said, don't forget that we kind of don't give a shit about business plan or vision around here, and we only care about if number goes up.
yeah, we
So
monkeys.
it can
bro.
have a completely shitty business vision as long as their marketing is good. I don't fucking care.
Look at Doge.
Yeah. So I would say that I am agnostic, and
Yeah.
and frankly, as a trader, I think you should be too.
Yeah, if
Don't
we're, talking
buy-
about if we're talking about individual business plans, yeah, that's not up my alley at all. But if we're talking about what I think will be around the longest guaranteed, I think that's Bitcoin.
Yep, I feel the same way. I would concur Bitcoin and maybe a few of the other market leaders such as Ethereum, but realistically Bitcoin is my highest confidence as far as long-term holds. If you mean business plan vision as to which projects are the most promising, which projects, which team, which dev leads do I think are the most promising, oof, that is a different question altogether. But thank you, Jordan Stotts. That's the best that we can give you. We are, of course, well, our analysts, at least our traders, they go by the charts. Rolo Maximus on DLive, could you take a look at LYXE? This is LYXE. This is Luxo. So we got Luxo and Cadena or Cadena. So let's start with Luxo. That's LYXE.
Yep.
Looks like Bitcoin.
It looks like everything else. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Look for it to do what everything else is doing, and then look for it to bounce around the same time. If it's a project that you believe in, then go ahead and pick it up. I know that it was something that Justin had picked it up in the past, but yeah, it's not doing anything special. So I just don't have anything special to say about it. I would look for some other kind of leg down. If it breaks the downtrend, then you can take it. What's next?
All right, we also have Cadena or Cadena. That's ticker KDA.
Never heard of this before. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
KDA top trading pair, KuCoin, KDA USDT.
Well,
Actually, I won't say this one looks like everything else. This one looks worse than everything else. Don't get it. Yeah, this one looks like we're trapped right below resistance. You can kind of see this resistance support level right here. See, we even wick up into it. If you're in it, I say get out. If you're trying to pick it up, I like... let's get this fuck out of the way. I hate these. There's never a good place to put these. I don't think... Oh, you can hide it. Damn, okay.
Yeah, that node on VPVR is quite attractive. That high node down there.
This one, the squarish one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you're right. That's exactly where I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's looking interesting. Right below that big old point. Yep.
And guess what? It's this consolidation area right here.
Crazy.
Someone does a lot of buying right before the pump, and then there's a lot of liquidity down here. So what happens? We go back and we flush this person out, or these people, as it were.
These derelicts.
Jack.
All right, continuing on, I do see quite a few people nodding toward Trade Ogre as your go-to for picking up Pirate Chain. I could have swore, didn't it list on Binance? I could have sworn I could have found our chain on TradingView up until recently. Did it get delisted from Binance? After Googling are delisted, I do see some discussion on this topic. So I am not sure if anybody can confirm, did Pirate Chain see a delist? Because it seems like
is there any coins you can find on TradingView that are on CoinOgre? I've never seen CoinOgre on.
No, CoinOgre, that's why it's not coming up. But it's TradeOgre, I think, actually. But yes, Mike Maker, any words say TradeOgre. Rhino TD says Binance. No, don't have it on Binance.
I heard TradeOgre really sucks.
Yes, Rhino or Crypto Bull says Gravix has it. I've used it, but I don't recommend it.
Guys, there's a reason that it's not. TradingView has an awful lot of exchanges that it carries, so you would have to wonder why an exchange could be in the market for several years and then not have a connection to TradingView. Perhaps because they are a very shady exchange.
Yeah, they're shady.
But then again, HitBTC has a relationship with TradingView, and HitBTC is pretty fucking shady too.
All right, we have taken a look at that. Now that a look at KDA and LYXE is complete, let's dive into the next request. Any word on DLive? Can we take a look? And I'll accept bad news on MATIC, ADA, or CTSI. Any of them that you could do. All right, let's look at MATIC. Not sure how much bad news we'll find on MATIC, but let's take a look.
I mean, get out. We're right at resistance. You guys know, just because we broke the uptrend doesn't mean we'll break down right away. We could trade sideways. We can even make a slightly higher high, but probably we're going down with the rest of the market. I'd look to pick MATIC back up underneath $1. What's next? ADA, CTSI. All right.
Yes, ADA.
So,
let's look.
All right, so CTSI, as you can see here, it's below our trend. Well, we could be a little bit more generous here with our trend. Yeah, we're still breaking below it. This looks to me like something that you definitely don't want to be in right now. You see we're below resistance here on the weekly. We could still move up like I've suggested we could do on a lot of things, but I expect more downside. ADA, USDT, it's going to be the same story. Hey, guess what? I expect more downside. Lots of resistance overhead. below the daily baseline. And rejecting from previous resistance right here. Boom, boom, boom. I would still like to see that slightly higher high towards $2.15 that we're expecting. You know, we fake low right now, then we push up, everybody gets super excited, they buy in, and then they get the dump. So yeah, either way, we're below the daily baseline. Stop longing stuff below the daily baseline, guys. What's next?
All right, let's dive into the next one. So that was Cardano and CTSI wrapped up.
We're wrapped.
All right, here we go. About to get into the next one. Before I do, going to mention a couple more comments concerning Pirate Chain. Mike Maker says, if you want Pirate Chain, you have to use Bitcoin to buy it on Trade Ogre and then promptly move it into a Pirate Chain wallet because no exchange has a wallet for it yet. All right, so seems like your Beeflo says he bought his on Safe Trade. All right, guys, there's a few tips for anybody looking to get their hands on some Pirate Chain tokens. Might have a someone also mentioned earlier that Binance, there's word of Binance bringing Pirate Chain. That would be big, but at the same time, Pirate Chain being kind of a privacy-focused token as well as a few other things, you know, that might be a huge hurdle for it to overcome. The privacy coins have a lot of strings attached.
XMR and Zec are on Binance.
They are indeed, but they aren't widely listed on other exchanges. So just saying, it does factor in somewhat to its wider acceptance across many exchanges. All right, let's look at this next request for Moblin as well as CryptoBull21. They both want to see UBX Ethereum pairing.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that I did buy like last week. Waiting for that break.
It looks like it might be done with dumping here. It's just kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. I did take a chance on wait it out. I do feel like the lower time frame trends have been broken. Just gotta give it more time. It could take a couple weeks, could take a couple months, who knows?
Well, one thing you could do is you could skip the whole wait and just wait and see when the downtrend is broken and then take a trade then.
Yep.
But if you don't want to do that, then, I mean, I don't see that much more downside, probably.
Yeah, and plus, like, my play on this is completely spot. I'm willing to wait. This is one that I did point out.
I don't know, we can push down into this area right here.
Absolutely. It's possible.
Which would be a drop of...
Probably substantial.
Yeah, guys, we could drop another 50% from here. I mean... Guys, the markets look like shit. Stop trying to long everything. Jesus. You guys are going to get burned. Wait for the break of the downtrend, folks. Wait for the break of the downtrend. What's next?
All right, hold the phone on UBX. We are about a minute away from the big lemon giveaway on DLive. So have your lemon cups ready, gentlemen. The DLive lemons are about to be dispersed. Like I said, about a minute, 45 seconds to go on my stopwatch for that. Here we go. And next, could we also, again, I know you already looked at UBX and this might be rehashing it, but I'll at least mention that UBX USDT pairing was also requested.
Yeah, it's the same chart.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, it's going to be likely the same chart. Let's introduce the next request before opening up that lemon chest. MacW on YouTube writes XMR, please.
Lemon.
Nice buyback today.
That chest is coming out, guys. Get your lemons.
Yep, nice buyback today, but we're still just like hanging out at the point of control. I just wouldn't do anything with it, and also we're below the daily baseline. Yada yada yada. Probably, I don't know. Maybe there's not much more downside here before we get that upside towards $340, which we're expecting. You know, movement up here, and then further dump, like we've said about the market. So, yeah, there's nothing really to say right now. It looks like it could be setting up to move up here soon, but I'm just not sure.
All right, there you have a look at XMR Monero. Jason, do you have the lemon giveaway list? Oh, I do actually. Ben just forwarded it to me.
Looks like Rhino TD with 49, Crypto Bull with 28, Mike Maker with 21, In My Mind with 16, and Polly B with 14. I got screwed again.
All right, congrats guys for the lemon giveaway. Yeah, you know what? The thing glitched out on me. I clicked collect. I don't think I got anything, but that's the D-Live chest for you guys. A little buggy sometimes. I'm gonna throw an ice cream at it now anyway. There we have it. All right, Monero in the bag. A few minutes still left in the show. Plenty of time to power through these remaining requests. Lambo Dreams, Litecoin, please and thank you.
All right. Going up to here, coming down to $100. Nothing's changed since yesterday.
Nothing's changed.
And we might be finding support on this area. Are we doing that on Bitcoin right now? Maybe.
It's too soon to tell.
Yeah, this is where we're saying there could be a bounce here, but it is still too soon to tell. Where Bitcoin goes here, the alts will go, guys. So caution. What's next?
All right, RK in the YouTube chat asks, what are lemons? Lemons are the native cryptocurrency of DLive, the streaming platform. And DLive, it's a reward token. It's a game token. You can gift it, of course, to the content creators, and the content creators can distribute and gift it back to the viewers. Makes things
it's incredibly lucrative. They're worth several $1,000s a piece.
Yeah, super lucrative. Lemons, they're the equivalent of Chuck E. Cheese tokens, and they don't come with any pizza. Let's have a look. We have
10,000 pizza.
Yes, here we go. We have the FEG. It's a ChartX jobby for a nice hash login.
All right.
FEG.
A Rob job.
I would probably get out here.
Get out.
Yep.
Get out here. This FPG, what are you doing? Wow.
Maybe we could make an inverse head and shoulders here. Come down, and come down again. But either way, this looks like rejection from resistance. See, push up. We come down, and then another wick up here. Go down. I'd be looking for downside right now.
Mm-hmm.
As with everything else, I would be pretty cautious buying something that is up 2,000% from the bottom. Give it a little time. What's next?
All right, there is your request. Nice hash login on YouTube. Next up is Sand. Yes, don't navigate away from ChartX just yet. Let's look at Sand. Or is Sand on? Oh, okay, it is on Binance. All right, never mind.
Well, like everything else, I think this is going to move upwards, and I'm not sure where we'll get a retest of. We could get a retest of the highs here. This is not bad volume. Nah. I think it makes much more sense to see just a retest the point of control before we finish moving down to this area. I just don't see that much more downside here on sand. If we broke below 25 cents, we would just instantly collapse. So it might not be a bad place to be picking up sand, at least for that retest of the highs, wherever we end up. Yeah, you could just see here, if we ended up anywhere below 25 cents, there's just like no support below us. 23, 25 cents, whatever, around there. Yeah, that's probably the best way to play this here. What's next?
All right, thank you to Lambo Dreams for the sand request. Here is a question from Alex81SG on DLive. If I wanted to hedge against a possible crash, is it better to short a couple alts rather than Bitcoin itself, since alts would drop more in percentage?
Well, you're not asking me about a hedge then, you're asking me about a trade, because the hedge is just to reduce your risk to zero, and you know, whatever reduces your risk to zero is what reduces your risk to zero. So if you are asking me, are alts going to dump more than Bitcoin? Yes. If you want to, if the question is what's the best way to capitalize on that, you could determine which alts individually look like they're going to fall more, or you could short the alt perps, and you could just decide which set of alts was going to drop more. Like maybe you're like, okay, Uniswap stuff is probably what's going to lose the most value, right? One way you could quantify that is just to see where you would be targeting. You're like, okay, I think alts would go down to 28. Well, how big of a drop is that? 41%. All right. Well, let's see if DeFi went down to the place where I think it's going to. You know, how big of a drop is that? We're right around here. Okay, that's kind of like a bigger drop, comparatively speaking. Maybe DeFi is what I want to short, et cetera, et cetera. So that's probably the best way to go about doing that for you, because what you're asking about the hedging is probably not what you mean. What's next?
All right, well responded to. Who do we have left? One final request still on today's request line. It comes from Machete Mode on DLive. Could we look at the vet? Yes, VeChain.
Machete Mode.
It looks like everything else.
Yeah.
I still think we could push a little higher into the resistance we have up near 18 cents. See a decent level here. Support, break, resistance, collapse. So maybe we retest this area of resistance one more time. This is presuming that I'm right, that we test low and then move up for the real bull trap and then collapse. If we just collapse from here and I'm wrong, then, I mean, this was the resistance. What can you do? At that point, I'm probably looking for maybe 5 or 6 cent bet. Seems that, 3 cents is probably the bottom here. I would be very shocked to see us below 3 cents at all on VeChain. So, yeah, I like 4 or 5 cents. I like this area right here, actually. Right there. All right. What's next?
That would be the last one on the board today, guys. And we're just about 5 minutes out from wrapping the show. So we are going to get... Yep, no further requests came through. We knocked them all out. I thank everybody, of course, for contributing their requests today. But this, again, it's Friday, so let's not, let's not kill ourselves trying to overwhelm Alex. He is the workhorse of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Headlink.
Leo, it's kind of interesting here. This one could be a little bottomed out. I mean, look how many down days we've had right here, right? Starting to get a cross up on time transformation. If we broke this downtrend, that could be a pretty good trade. It'd be a pretty high reflexive bounce.
What is that?
Leo Perp. It's the exchange token from Bitfinex, I believe.
Yep. All right, so eyeing the Leo token for some, if we have one knife that might be worth catching, apparently this one's catching Alex's eye.
Nice.
That was
Nice
not intentional, but
Yeah.
SV, see a little bit of a bounce there.
Eh.
All right, yeah, not much to say, guys. The market,
Everything just looks pretty bad, folks.
heading into the weekend, looking droopy, and we know what the weekends have looked like in recent weeks. I guess I would advise caution, maximum caution ahead. All right, let's navigate away from Alex's stream in the meantime and proceed to wrapping up the show. Once again, my dear and loyal audience, I thank everyone who came through for us this week, joined us for another weekly installment in the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update series. It's been, of course, a great pleasure hosting, and it's been a great pleasure having Alex and Jason back. Has this really been your first week back from, was Puerto Rico really last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow. Yeah. So it's nice having our boys back. It's been another week, although of course with the markets being
back in town.
choppy conditions, guys. But I assure you, I have strong feeling that this market will be red hot by end of year, by the fall, something tells me. But in the meantime, we're gonna have to endure a few weeks of sideways, a few weeks of indecision, of fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt washing over many market participants. Might be a good opportunity to just get out and enjoy the summer. With the conditions the way they have been, a lot of people cooped up at home. This is your opportunity to get out and maybe tear yourself away from the charts. We did talk about the counseling program, the addiction, the crypto gambling addiction program debuting on the BBC today. Maybe a reminder. It's time to reflect, guys. While the markets are basically doing a whole lot of nothing, maybe a great opportunity to reflect on how much you engage now more than ever with markets kind of indecisive. Not many signals, and certainly a few long signals to be had. Maybe it's a good time to reflect on how much time you, of course, burn and spend looking at the charts. And
also the importance of knowing that no trade is also a trade, man.
And in that regard, guys, do enjoy your weekend and make the most out of life. Because, like I say, don't be too depressed about it. Because I have strong confidence this market very well will rebound by Q3,
Exactly.
Q4. Yes, I'm a perma bull to some degree. As much as this market turnaround pains me, it might very well be a necessary correction on the road to glory. Of course, only the strong-willed will survive. The people with serious resolve in the game are going to make it to the new highs. Try not to get wrecked in the meantime. All right, one other thing I will cover before we say our goodbyes. And that's going to be this weekend's programming in the community. That's right, premium members. This one is for you. Let me just get this on screen real quick. Right here. All right, here's a look at the UFC Fight Night. Is this no, this was last week. Do we have one? No, there's no UFC this week. Never mind. I think it's Memorial Day long weekend, so no UFC on the schedule, but that's okay, guys. We might very well do a movie instead. That's right, Saturday is movie night, still to be determined, but I've got a few flicks at the top of mind for our movie night. So I do encourage you, if you're a premium member, come kick it with us in the voice channel on Saturday night. Again, I'll post details in the Discord about this, roughly what time.
You're showing this. I don't. I thought you were showing the new content channel on the bottom, but I see now that that's just a GIF that you have, a repeating video.
Correct. Why? Was there something about it that
No. I thought you were, because you were talking about it, and I happened to glance at it at the corner of my eye, and I thought you were. I thought you
Nope.
just had it on the roll
That's
screen.
just a cute little animation showing off the new content channel. But yeah, guys, like I said, do keep a track of the Discord. I will let everybody know in the Premium Lounge as to my plans for tomorrow. But we will likely be doing a movie night. I figure 8 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, let's call it 8 p.m. tomorrow. We'll hopefully by then be kicking off a movie. Yeah, no UFC besides that, and yeah, we've made it to 3 o'clock, so another wonderful installment. All right, I don't have much more to add. Final words to our analysts. What more can we said?
I think we can still retest the highs here, guys, but wait for confirmation, because I don't know that for sure, and neither do you.
Yeah, let it prove itself to you. I think that we might start getting a little bit of bottoming behavior around the ranges that we discussed in those 33, 34, and 32, 31 range in ETH and BTC respectively. But we could get that press to the upside first, so let it prove it to you. You know how weekends are. We seem to get real volatile and then end up right around the place where we started Friday. So we just don't know at this point. So make sure you're trading safely.
Well said. All right, time to move to wrap. We'll catch you guys on Monday. In the meantime, enjoy your long weekend, fellas. Well, yeah, will we be back on Monday? Well, I mean, it is a long weekend for you two, not for me. So, Alex, Jason, any plans to return on Monday?
Markets are still trading, right?
If they are, all right.
I'll be here.
All right. More than likely, we will be back on Monday. So, everybody enjoy their weekend. Peace out.
I mean,
much love.
except for this show, I'm basically semi-retired. So, I mean, I don't have a problem showing up on Monday and doing this for a couple hours. So,
you know, you do need some relief too, bro. I know you had your time in the sun last week, but if you ever,
you guys know I didn't spend much time in the sun.
you know, you're.
He is definitely a vampire.
All right, guys, that's it. We are out. Much love.
Goodbye. Have a good weekend, guys.
Everyone.